Hey everyone, good evening. It is about 9:30, maybe not quite that late yet, and I wanted to record a bedtime yoga practice. This is awesome if you are coming home from a long day or you're coming home late and you just want to wind down before going to bed. You can do this if you have trouble sleeping or kind of get nervous about what your sleep is going to be. This is a part of what we call a dinacharya, which is an Ayurvedic term for a daily routine. And this is what grounds us. This is what builds what we'll call immunity for today. I'm not going to get into more terms. We're building immunity this way. We're building vitality, resiliency, that juicy energy that so many of us lose when we're overstressed, not sleeping well, not eating great. You might feel it. Maybe you feel a little ragged or fiery or dried out or kind of just exhausted, burnt out. So these practices of increasing yin, the opposite of yang or yang, kind of the softer energy, it is cultivated with these practices. There's many, many, many other practices you can do, of course, but this is just one of my favorites. And sometimes I find, I usually do my yoga in the morning, but sometimes I find that doing it at the end of the day after a busy day is like really deep. It can be really beautiful and meditative and just kind of a different energy, right? It's that energy of the moon. So let's go ahead and get started. This is for everybody, for all levels, even if you've never done yoga before. So let's begin. All right, let's go on the back. I love to start my practices this way. Such a quick and easy way to just feel grounded. Start to take a deep breath in. Let it go, exhale. A few more times, inhale. Exhale. Just do that deep breath several times. We're going to do that for about 30 seconds or so. And as you're here, as you're just breathing really fully, start to allow your bones to settle into the earth. So letting go of any holding or tension in the shoulders, back of the head, low back presses into the floor. Shoulder blades go wide, shoulder heads relax and soften. The feet are rooted into the floor, into the earth. And then reach the arms over your head, deep stretch, and now just allow the lower back to lift into arch. Bring the arms out to a cactus, knees rock side to side. Hug the left knee into your chest. You can either keep your right foot on the floor, or if you want, you can extend it, flexing through the foot. So that's a little bit more active and more stretching for the psoas. If you want something a little bit more stabilizing for the low back, you can press that foot into the floor with the knee bent. So I've been loving this way for my back. And then just go ahead and extend that toward the ceiling. And instead of just kind of holding it here, we're going to bring a little bit of movement, a very gentle wave into our postures today. So inhale, kind of lift the heart just a little bit toward your foot. Exhale, settle it in. So it's a very subtle movement. And as I do that with the chest, I'm kind of straightening and then bending the leg. So maybe that feels good. Maybe you want to do something a little different. As long as you feel that lift, inhale, and then the lowering and melting, exhale. I'm going to cross my left ankle over the right thigh, kind of right above the kneecap. And then gently pull everything in. So this is supine pigeon. My left ankle's crossed over the thigh. I'm flexing both of my feet here. My low back is really pressing into the floor. And so you can adjust how intense you want this hip opener to be. It's right before bed, so feel free to kind of take it easier, but just so you feel that beautiful sensation in the outer left hip. If this is even too much, you can just do this. So putting that foot back down and just breathing here. So I often do that as well. 2 more breaths. Okay. Last part here. We're going to come into happy baby on the left side. So we're just going to grab the left ankle, the foot, or maybe the thigh, and then you can just stretch that right leg long on the floor. A few breaths here. Get nice and wide through your collarbones, your shoulder blades. If you want to straighten your leg a couple times here, you can. Ooh, might be just a nice little stretch. And then we'll come to the other side. So that whole thing we just did on the right side. So you're gonna, if you're like me, you're gonna just place that left foot down, lift the right leg, or you can extend that leg, up to you. Again, don't feel the need to overdo it. We're winding down for bed, so it's best to just go slow. Be a little bit more intuitive here with your movement, more intentional. All right, and then we'll come into that hip opener. So the right ankle over the thigh. Either stay here or hug everything towards you. So this is a little too much for me right now, so I'm gonna just kind of gently hold right here. I'm making sure most of my low back is on the floor. Just sinking into this beautiful pose here. Couple deep breaths here before we move on. Just really soak up the last of this hip opener. They're really juicy, both for the physical body, but also it can be, for some people, an emotional release. But if you don't feel anything, that's totally fine too. All right, and then we'll come into happy baby on the right side. Oh, that knee comes out. So again, if this is too much, you can adjust. Maybe bring in the hip a little bit. You can also use a strap if you have it, or a scarf, something of the sort, maybe a piece of clothing. A few breaths here. If you want to start to straighten and bend, you can. Couple more breaths in the pose. And then find yourself in constructive rest, which is the low back in the floor, feet on the floor, knees bent. Hands can come on the body. And then slowly come back up, hands and knees. And make this a cozy child's pose. So maybe you're doing something different with the hands or the feet for more support. Stay in your child's pose for as long as you'd like. I'm going to end it here. So come out slowly, maybe stay a little longer, and I'll see you for the next video.